Okay, so a follow-up to a video I did a couple of years ago, actually now, that's seen a few thousand views. So I thought about time I said hi and upload another video. The title of this one is "Why Do People Chuck?" Well, limited overs cricket, quite simply. Limited overs cricket has become more and more important. We've got the T20 World Cup that's currently underway. Will really kick off in a week or two. 50-over cricket's become more relevant, higher scoring certainly. Teams will regularly go over 300 now, whereas in the past that was considered exceptional. Even England are doing it now with some regularity, much to my delight. And the aim of the game, when you are a bowler, is to not give runs away. In limited overs cricket, you're bowling defensively. Okay, you're not trying to get people out necessarily. You're trying to bowl defensively because you might have 20 overs to do it in. You might have 50 overs to do it. There's not a lot of time to get a whole team out unless they give their wickets away. Also, modern bats are much bigger than they used to be. I've got several bats, and my most modern bat, which is a couple of years old, is enormous. I've got a bat from the 50s, which is, it's smaller. It's got real edges, actual edges. It's got a small profile. It's an even profile. On my new bat, it's got a really big scoop at the back, lots of wood behind the sweet spot, and it's got huge edges. So you can use that bat, and there's a lot of weight in it. You can smack the ball for six if you want to. I can't. I'm a terrible batsman. Fine. Okay. So when you are bowling defensively nowadays to try not to give runs away. To do that, to achieve that, what you actually need is not necessarily spin, turn or bounce. It's a bit of extra speed because you're trying to bowl a flat trajectory. A traditional spinner will try and bowl several now and then, try and bowl a flighted or loop delivery that does something like this. In the air it goes up and it goes down and then it bounces and it turns. That's the idea. In T20 cricket, we're not really looking for spin. We're looking to stop the runs being scored. So you bowl flat. You bowl a bit faster, a bit flatter. Okay, you keep it below the batsman's eye line and they've got to just defend it. Okay. If you flight a ball, it's much easier to hit it. It's also more likely to get them out, but that's not the point of what you're trying to do. So to get more speed, bowlers have thought about this and gone, well, I need a bit more speed. So they practice speeding the delivery up. In that practicing of speeding the ball up, they might be chucking. They might be accidentally. I'm not accusing anyone of doing it deliberately, but you need a bit more speed. And biometrically, it's easier to chuck. It's easier to straighten your arm, point of delivery, straighten your arm, than it is to get it round on your shoulder. So actually, biometrically, to get things quicker, it's easy to chuck. You don't see a javelin thrower necessarily doing it all like that. There is an element of a throw in there, okay, at the end of their throw. So bowlers go and practice. They get things faster. They think, brilliant, I've got things faster. And it's really difficult to detect chucking. Historically, it's been really difficult to prove that someone's chucking. There are biometric tests now. They're very expensive. They're difficult to do. So at the training ground, the coach isn't, unless it's really obvious, isn't going to turn around and say, yeah, you're chucking that, because it's hard to see. It's only when players are under the gaze of cameras and replays and umpires who are trained in what to do, and video replays and ultra slow motion, that the chucking becomes more and more obvious. Okay, and even then, it's not a perfect technology. Okay, so more people are being cited for chucking than ever before. More people probably are chucking, and it's become a part of the game that wasn't there in the past. I'm of the opinion that people have been chucking since the game began, and people have been chucking regularly for many years in limited over cricket, but in the last couple of years it's become more focused on by the ICC because of high profile cases like Ajmal, like Sandanayaka, to a lesser extent Marlon Samuels, who was banned from bowling one or two of his deliveries, particularly his quicker delivery. There you go. And so it's very simply, chucking lets you speed up. Speeding up is a more defensive way of bowling spin. It makes it harder for batsmen to score runs. That's the name of the game. I'm not saying anyone's doing it deliberately. It's probably just crept into their training. The coaches can't notice it so well at the grounds when they're doing it. Players might not even realise they're doing it because it is difficult to detect in the action. We've got so many other things going on. And I think that's why chucking has become such a problem. Thank you very much.